Guys, my last stream. So I'm doing a match between Memphis v Philly. The scrummage. Um, Philly are winning this by quite a huge margin, but it is been a game which has been surprising to me as a fan of NBA because I can see that um, Ben Simmons attempted a 3-point attempt in this game already, which is very strange because Ben never shoots or attempts any 3 points at all. So for him to do that, it's just really good in that sense of the word. I'm just going for timeout now, so I'm waiting for the timeout to come back. But this game has been alright, not bad. Ben Simmons has been quite active on the boards. Jordan Embiid has been okay so far. So it's just a question of trying to keep this up for the rest of the game or the rest of the game. Guys, give me your opinions on how you think LeBron played last night. LeBron was really good. He, for me, played really well in that first half. He was able to score, assist like he normally does, and there was no rust from what I saw of him in the first half. Suggest that he's not on his top level. Come next week when they play LA Clippers, the first official NBA game back from COVID-19. So overall, I think LeBron played very well. Ben Simmons scored 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field. So I'm not sure how many minutes he's been played so far, but obviously just been back from a long break, so I'm gonna give him a bit of a doubt here. But yeah, Philly have got 38, and Memphis have 21 points. So Philly are winning by quite a big margin in the second quarter. Ben comes with the ball, passes it. That's for left there. They missed. Okay, put it here. Put it here. Hold on. That's Junior scores. So Memphis now have 23. Philly have 28. Have 38. Alford just scored. So it's okay. Trying goes to the hoop. Very strange. Can't feel again on the side of the ball. Phil just scored again. 2 point. Tie right there. From Memphis now. It's a poor pass. Poor pass. Just showing John Burns. Past alley-oop. Beautiful pass. Assist from John Morant. He's another player of the season who could be the MVP. Rookie MVP. Along with Zion. USL to see. Mr. Harris. Pineapples 2 are missing. What's wrong? Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Mm. Memphis trying to lay up, get blocked. Come Philly on fast break. Ben Simmons shoots in the paint. The ball gets stuck between the basket and the backboard. There's a nice Euro step there. Just tries to lay it in off a glass. And the ball gets stuck between the glass and the backboard. To Memphis. Cut the court for Jamorant. Dribbling past halfway. Passes it back to Jamorant. Just outside the key. Comes inside the paint. This is it. It's the right wing. Love that. Okay, Yorkie, beautiful. Hands at the rim. Big man. Yes, sir. Mr. Hawford with a 3-point attempt there. Beautiful attempt from Al. Those shots are very slow. Their set shots very slow, but that was a good 3-point there. Come Philly again in the fast break. Oh, love that. Who's that? Harris. Beautiful dunk. Alley-oop. Not sure who for the pass after. Wait and see. But it's a beautiful ball. Who's that? Tell me how he goes. But after the mid guys that I feel like playing okay in this match so far. Um, but guys, I want to give my opinion on how I think the players will go. Um, so man, it is obviously people are saying that LeBron is with a team who should be in the playoffs. Which people might say that, but we got LeBron and AD on the LA Lakers. They are two of the best players in the league, in my opinion. But then it starts from there. Now, if you look at other teams like LA Clippers, who have Paul George, they have Kawhi Leonard, they have Pat Beverly, they have Lou Williams, they have Harris, they have a depth of, of players on their squad to choose from. Whereas LA just have basically AD and LeBron, who are their main stakes in their team. 3-pointer from Memphis going in. As I was saying, I mean, for that Sigma coming to the court now. Oh, Alex Burr. But it is you've got to question how LeBron is to manage time. Will be able to game manage as well because listen, he is someone who's under pressure this year. This season, he wants to win a chip. I know he wants to win a chip. It is a question whether maybe Frank Vogel is able to change the lineup. And I think in these games, in these scrummage games, Frank needs to try and change that lineup and try and find out who can play on the ball when LeBron's not on the court. Because let's face it, LeBron James is the main man in his team, and without him and OAD, they are struggling big time to score points on on that side of the board. So you got to question how Frank will be able to make this team better, in my opinion. So we have to wait and see on that one. But it is a it's got to be a question mark if Frank is able to make a tactical change, make his team play more, or try and find them, give him ways to win. If that's my opinion, I mean they obviously have very good first five plays on the court, but after that, you would think they need to start making changes, in my opinion, and just they might try to bring the players on, or is I mean Frank Vogel is someone who you all know is a top coach, in my opinion, but have to prove to himself how all people how he's able to win against other teams with their with their front court basically because Lakers have not many options other than LeBron and AD in my opinion. So we need to try and figure out who we have to pick to help him in that regard. Um, I was in trouble with my um stream here. Hold on, give me 2 minutes because as I was saying, it is really a question of if you can get Frank, Rob can find a way to try and mesh his team together in some sort of way and just try and figure out which teams work well in this system that you're trying to play because obviously you know who your one eight will be your main two people on the court on any given time and I'm worried about when Frank takes one of them out of the game, either LeBron or AD, but more certainly on LeBron. If LeBron gets out of the game for maybe 6 to 8 minutes, who's going to handle the ball? Because obviously AD can't do that. He's going to be in the post, so we need to find someone who's another ball handler. Like obviously we have the Waiters who's now on our team. I saw him play last night. He played okay for me. He was not great. He wasn't bad. He was someone who you have to you give the ball to and you say go and score points and go and try and create other plays to score as well. In that regard, he done okay for me in that sense. We also have J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is someone who is more of a shoot on sight person, which is fun, not wrong with that at all. But you have to question his mentality sometimes because he tends to shoot when he should pass it. And he is more of a aggressive shooter. Well, I mean that by, is that, I mean by he's someone who will just catch the ball and shoot. He will not assess the court dynamics or the courts or how the court is laid out in front of him. He'll just get the ball and shoot, and he's just a pure shooter. And that'd be fine if he's someone like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, but he's not. And when you're not someone as good as those people are, you can't afford to be giving up bad shots game in, game out my God. Now, obviously, J.R. Smith's not been back in NBA games for that long, so we have to give him a bit of a break on that point. But for me, he still needs to learn when not to shoot the ball, in my humble opinion. Um, Kyle Kuzma last night. Kyle was a player who, for me, he still tries to force shots. He still tries to force it to go in the net. He, for me, is 6'8". When you're 6'8", you need to mix it up, go to the post, you know, try and get points in the post, in the paint, and after that, after you get a feel for the game, then you can start going. Then you can start going for 3-point attempts, but you cannot go straight for 3-point attempts cold because you're cold. You're gonna miss them more often than not. You're gonna make them. So it's just a question of me waiting for Kyle, hopefully, to change the way he plays in a way, in a sense, and not be so set on his ways. I'm going to shoot the ball, and that's it. I don't care if I've just come in the game. I'm going to shoot because the best players know when to shoot, know when to get to the paint, get the points there. I think Kyle needs to try and get some more N1s in the paint, get fouls, N1s, get 3 points. That's how you build up your confidence to then shoot 3-pointer, shoot long two, instead of trying to force it and take bad shots. Because against better teams, we will get punished, in my opinion. You guys give me opinions. What do you think? I mean, do you think that what I'm saying is correct? Do you think we'll do well against the LA, our team in our team in LA come 5 6 days time? I want to know your opinions because that game was huge. Not less the fact that we need to win against them and put them in place again because at the end of the day, I think that they're the best team in LA, which they're not at all. We're the best team in LA, and we'll go prove that to them again come next week. But listen, man, I just think that people are trying to say that obviously Kawhi and PG will be the favourites, in my opinion, to win the chip. Obviously, at least they're final out the West, even though we are the even though we are the, first seed in the West, as in the LA, as we are. They have the depth which we didn't have. They have PG, Kawhi, Lou Williams, Beverly. You know, their people off the bench can score like lights up. Lou Williams can score 15 points, come off the bench easily. So it's a question of just trying to, you know, get players who are not really that big players on the team to perform come in big moments, in my opinion. Guys, just trying to fix my streaming. You guys just, I think that Frank Weatherall is to try and figure out a game plan which helps players like LeBron and AD win off the court, but we're still not performing to our best potential, in my view. Um, it is a real problem, if you ask me, in my opinion, because we have the ability to do really well in the postseason. It is question whether Frank believes in himself to back himself to bring in players like a J.R. Smith, which he's done, bring in players like Dion, he's done, Waiters like he's done, and try and make them know, learn how to play with us as a team rather than individuals. I thought if we play as a team, then we will win this year. That's a fact. That's it. That's pretty done. So it's got a question whether we have the depth. In my opinion, yeah, for me, it's all about the depth because the depth is what we need to have to just put ourselves on the top echelon of the NBA. In my opinion, I saw Giannis play yesterday as well. He looked absolutely superb as per usual, and I just feel that if we play the Bucks in the finals, we will have to just stop him from doing this thing. Us obviously last year when Toronto played the Bucks, they put a wall basically just just behind 3 point line or above three, I'm not sure, and they said, "You know what, come, let's go," because you'll be able to beat us by going to the hoop, and he looked lost. So you got question if he's able to improve his game to the next level yet within a year. For me, he hasn't at all, and I am banking on him not being able to shoot as well enough yet to punish us for getting our players in the paint, in my opinion. So I think if we get the Bucks in the final, we will win. In my opinion. Guys, it is a big game for us against Clippers next week. I hope we're prepared massively. I come across as a very confident fan of the team, but I'm aware of their strength and our weaknesses. They have in Kawhi Leonard, a man who is able to at any time produce a moment of magic. They have someone in Paul George, who's a lockdown defender, both on the D and the offensive side of the ball as well. So we have to be aware of this. You have to adjust accordingly, in my opinion. You see, we are all going to have to play our part as in the team to beat that team. They're full of depth and they have length, and that's why I think we need to perform to our best of ability to get anything out of the game. Um, back to this game, Philly are winning against Memphis by 54 points to 28. So it's been a bit of a rout, if you ask me. I don't really know how much Memphis are going for the game, really. It is the third quarter. 1 minute's gone. 9 minutes 44 seconds left on the clock. Um, so yeah, so it's going now. But I think that Ben Simmons, um, Ben Simmons taking his position on the Philly, definitely as a team was very good for Ben's growth as a player. Because let's get it straight, when he was the point guard for that team, he was running through him. But how many times last year in the playoffs I need for that as well against Boston? I think he basically was a no-show in the playoffs in the fourth quarter because players were saying, "No, what we're going to stand 5 feet off you, and the shoot was because Ben couldn't shoot back then." And without him taking his position, now it just makes more of a difference, in my opinion, because he's now being forced to learn how to shoot. So he will now be forced to take shots other than being 2 foot in the paint, and to be able to adapt his game better to help the players around in his team, like Embiid and Horford. So too many times this season, I saw Ben Simmons in the post come fourth quarter, and he was standing there next to Al Horford. I'm going, mate. You are 6'10". You can drive to the basket. I stand to 4 quarters, so there'll be a play off you, so you just the basket. But you have to at least try and attempt to shoot the ball because you are not tapping the team at all. In that regard, you have to learn how to shoot the ball better. And I feel that been playing off the ball now. He's now being forced to learn to shoot. He's now being forced to having to shoot outside the paint. Whereas before, he felt comfortable in shooting the paint. He can get the ball and he wanted. I think Ben just scored 3 pointer as well. You know what I mean? So Ben will be, will be given a chance to shoot 3 pointers in the playoffs as well because teams will say, you know what, go and shoot. I dare you shoot. Then he'll have to make them believe they will score every time he shoots. Because listen, okay, he scored 3 point now. It's great. I think, but he needs to do that in crunch time, big games, and I mean that will decide whether or not he's improved as a player or enough as a player yet. I mean, the world is Ben Simmons' oyster. He is a very talented young man. He just needs to learn and try to improve his game um, year in, year out. Because for me, I've been knowledge of Ben Simmons because he is someone who's got the ability to be very, very good. So he wants to try and put the effort in on an extra level and get himself to the next level of a tier player. That's when he came to the league because when you compare it to players like LeBron James, obviously because of his passing IQ and obviously that part of his game. But from what I saw from him when he came to the league and to now, he's not improved enough For me, being in the league for 3, 4 years now, he's not improved. So now what I'm thinking, this guy should be somewhere close to being on Giannis's level. So I'm saying, someone who scored no 2 points there, posting up, reverse dunk there. So I mean, so this is just another things that Ben can add to his game, add to his clipboard, add to his skill set because he can do it. It's just a question of him wanting to do it. My view. I'm waiting for the Boston game, which is later on tonight as well. So I might do that one as well because I'm waiting to see how Boston come back from the brick and how they perform because they're now a team in the East who are really being Ben scored 3 points there, so he can shoot. So I'm saying to you, Ben has the ability to be arguably the best player in the league in the next 3, 4 years. It's about him being able to mature as a player, as an adult, and as a basketball player or player because he has the ability, he has the tools. He's a physically tall man. He's got height, he's got strength, he's got the whole package. He just needs to learn to shoot better than he does now, or at least shoot because if he has that, he will scare the whole league off, in my opinion. But back to Boston. Boston are a team from the East who they have smart, they have Tatum, they have Howard, they have who else? Jalen Brown. So they have a Kemba as well. So they have actually a good team. It just for me in crunch time, it's still not clear yet to me who the main man is. I mean, this season it's been Tatum a lot, but last season it was Kemba a little bit. I mean, start of season Kemba. So I'm not sure whose team is it yet. Whose team it is yet, but from what I've seen of Tatum this year, he has added up another level to his game. Um, I'm not saying he's as good as Kobe because he's obviously not, but the type of shots he's taking are Kobe-esque shots. They're fadeaways, they're mid-range jumpers, they're reverse fadeaways. They are shots that Kobe would take. I know that Tatum grew up a good big fan of Kobe as well, so it is about Boston and them trying to be able to figure out a way to just get themselves into a good spot come the playoffs time because they are another team who, if you ask me, are really just there, but they're not there for certain. If you ask me, they are a team who, you know, they tend to be they're a bit of a team who lack the current edge, in my opinion, um, at times. Playing the ball, the paint, the failed, got free throw, turn the shot chart. He took in one free pointer, made that. One long two. We made one shot in the paint. But that's huge for Ben. Make two shots from outside the paint because Ben doesn't shoot at all. So that's a great thing for him personally there. Yeah, Boston are a team who in the East they are not really a team who you can rely on if you ask me. I mean, in the media, if people said that Boston are the dark horse to make it to the finals, the NBA finals, they're not. Because for me, they don't have a man who can mark Giannis. In my opinion, they are a team who rely on Tatum too much. But they also have a lot of players like with length and height, all that stuff. They still don't have players who are clutch players who can defend to an elite level and shoot to elite level as well, in my opinion. Um, I'm back and back. Hopefully, it will improve as streaming time. I'm back, I'm back. I think that's pretty much stream. Not sure if we're in see. Yeah, back to Boston. I mean, obviously Kemba Walker and taking them a good team. People are just questioning whether that was supposed to ever come game too fast. Maybe they are not yet at a level where you know that they perform very strong. My opinion. But I know what guys. That's my opinion on that. Um, which I will play is I think scoring points here. They're doing pretty well. I mean, yeah. 4 minutes left, so wait and see if he continue to perform what this game's done now. They're winning by 61 points. Still points stuff online. Come back for me now. Get forward. Jamal fouled. Block. And Simmons layup. See all day, like, he's very calculated to do that all day. So that's this. And that's true to the boat, in my opinion. But three, moving out. Then again, I bought the court on the right hand side of the court, Ryan Key. I've missed a long three. Three-pointer for Wagner for Memphis. Like that, good play. Spurs for Philly. Timeout. Burks. Nice jumper. Switching come up there. Timeout. Back. So this game is finished. 2 minutes left, basically. Memphis are trying to score. They're taking the whole team, basically. So that's again to pay. But that's got 10 as well. It's got counts for two. Just somewhere down, but for me, it's over the net, but it's a good keep it to it. So good free by Memphis. Because people try to say that, you know, if Kawhi wins, no chip, you better LeBron James. It's not. Just go there and say, you know what, I'm gonna play hurt, I'm gonna play injured, and that's it. He tends to, for me, he gets a little legal, he'll take time out. Now, obviously, what happened at Spurs is different because that was an injury which he not was able to play for what a year after that, and Spurs were trying to get him to come back for playoffs and rush him back. But he said, I'm not coming back because I'm not fit enough to play, which is a fair point. That's fair to say that because look what happened to Isaiah Thomas, who played for Boston, and his other sister died, and he came back, rushed back, just he was injured as well, rushed back, and got traded. I think it was the next season. So that just shows you that these NBA teams have no loyalty to you at all. And I'm going to say to you that um, Kawhi is wrong. He's not because he's not fit. He's not fit. But I'm just going on general in the sense that he is always never really been that player to play 60 plus games a year in year out. In my opinion. Um, LeBron is a man who's what 35 years old. He has basically more or less played every other game. Basically the whole career. Obviously, he takes games off. He doesn't do that. But my point is that he's not a player who relies on being low managed by the coach or the gaffer. He will tend to play every game. If he can do that, he will do that. As far as KD goes, KD, listen, I love Stephen A. Smith. He's someone who I respect highly when it comes to basketball and all that. Not so much Max Kellerman, but Stephen A. Smith is very good. And for me, I just think that Stephen, when he says sometimes that LeBron is not this player on planet because KD is, you have to think, mate. Um, listen, KD is one of the best shooters ever to play basketball in the NBA. He's got superb range. He's got length. He's got width. He's got height. He's got the whole package, and he's got a great step back fadeaway get shot. But for me, KD is not up there with LeBron simply because he cannot win in a bad team. You see, he was with OKC, in that team, he had players like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and him. There's three top players in the league back then and still now. this day, and he couldn't win a chip with them. Okay, okay, got to a final with them, but yeah, but young. But even so, if you're that great, if you're that great of a player, you stay there and you say, you know what, I'm gonna win at least one chip with them, and then I'll bounce. But he didn't. He left because he couldn't win chip in OKC because he said that Russell Westbrook was a bull hog basically. No, that may be true, but if you're that guy, you're the main man, so you have to rise above it and say, I'm in a man, I'm gonna win a chip. That's it. Leave it at that. But KD is someone who 2 years straight, I think 2 years straight, respect from this, 2 years straight, he put a three-pointer in the LeBron James' face in the close-up games from both from those years. And I'm not saying that he's better, he's not. But in my opinion, he then said that I'm the man, I'm the most best player in the world. Now that that could be a good point, but for me it's not a good point because in the day you want a stacked team, good team, you, Steph, Clay, Dre, those four players are top draw. I guarantee. If you put me on that team, we win a chip because they are so the other players running them are so elite that it's hard enough not to win than it is to win, in my opinion. I'm not taking away those shots. I'm not doing that at all. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that he was on a team that let him win easily than would do if he was on a team like Miami or Portland or Memphis or Dallas because he joined that team because he wanted to win a chip and he won a chip. In my opinion, it was a move which was making made it. That's it. It's done now. But I just don't think that he's up there with LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Akeem Bird. In my opinion, even if he wins now a chip in Brooklyn, because he has Kyrie in his team, and Kyrie's another bad boy, and that's what I'm saying to you. I mean, he's gone to a team which had Steph, Clay, Dre, to a team which has Kyrie on it, Harris on it, so he's an elite shooter and he's a good paint man. I mean, so he comes to another team which is stacked. So you have to question whether his mindset is I can't win by myself, to whether I join someone who can help me win. My opinion. Goes back to this game though. Last 2 minutes. This one. got some minutes. Check something. You guys think that this is debate which has gone for a long time. I don't really think that the answer yet. Um, yeah, man. For that is something going on for a long time. Trying to think back on this. What I've seen of this game so far, especially finished now. I'm gonna end my stream now. But it is good to see a Ben Simmons. It might go on some of the games. Good to see Ben Simmons back and healthy and playing off the ball because he tends to play on the ball quite a lot. And I've said before that he is a player who needs to change his game and adapt to his game and try to improve his game in comes to basketball because he's got the ability to be a very very good player. If he's able to shoot on a better level than he is right now, um, he's someone who has reached to steer um our team with his shot selection and his shots because he's that good of a player already. Um, guys, I'm trying to find this.